Welcome to the Bald Brad Show. In today's episode, we have another shooting that took place in Philadelphia, and it actually goes against the Democrats' narrative, and I'll explain why in just a moment. As always, if you want to join us here at the Bald Brad Show, or heck, support a conservative, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Share this link with your friends and family all over social media. And with that being said, let's jump into it. It says there was a mass shooting in Philadelphia on Saturday night that left 3 people dead and 11 wounded. More people could have been shot if not for a fast-acting cop that engaged one of the multiple shooters. Huge crowds gathered at Philly's popular South Street area, filled with restaurants, bars, and shops. However, the party-like atmosphere instantly turned into chaos as gunshots rang out in the entertainment area shortly before midnight. Now, we actually have a little bit of security cam footage of this. Let's go ahead and watch it together. There is no audio on this, but a typical night out on the streets. People are gathered. Looks like they're drinking a little bit, having a little bit of fun. And what you're going to see is next thing, shots start ringing out. People start realizing what's going on. It's not fireworks. It's not firecrackers. They're gunshots. And then everybody starts running and fleeing from the scene, and rightfully so. Now, what's interesting here is, again, it was a good guy, a cop with a gun, stopping a bad guy. Here is a clip, not a clip, but a photo of that, where it says that shots initially fired in the crowd from opposite direction. At least 2 shots returned. You have a cop there firing back and engaging the shooter. Now, this goes against the Democrats' narrative, and I actually have a clip of a Democrat saying so, which we'll, again, get to in just one moment here. Well, we have a video clip from police talking about what took place. Let's go ahead and watch this together.
Again, actively shooting. He was within about 10 to 15 yards of the shooter, watching this person shoot into the crowd when the officer engaged that shooter. And as a result of that brave officer, that individual, again, we're uncertain whether he was struck or not, but the officer was able to get that individual to drop his gun and flee. At this time, that is one of the individuals that we're currently looking for. Again, actively shooting.
I want to point out that I believe he said, 10 to 15 yards from the individual. And the Democrats will come out and say, oh, we'll just shoot the guy in the kneecap, shoot him in the buttocks, shoot him in his trigger finger, all these things. If this police officer that engaged the shooter missed him from 10 to 15 yards, I think it builds credence and credibility that when your adrenaline's going, you're trained with a firearm, there's chaos ensuing, that it's not exactly easy to hit a target, a full body target, let alone hit him in the kneecap or shoot him in his trigger finger. You know, all these people from Hollywood, they're saying a bunch of silly things. Now, again, we don't know if he was shot or not, but it did stop him from doing what he's doing. So it just goes to show that a good guy with a gun could stop a bad guy with a gun, but the Democrats don't want to believe that. Let's look at a clip here with Democrats saying as much.
I don't think there is a single incident, and maybe there's one, but I've not found one, of an assailant using an assault weapon that was stopped by a person with a gun. So this is maybe there's one of the thousands and thousands and thousands of shootings. I don't think
there's more than one. Folks, I don't know what the Democrats classify as assault weapons. We've talked about this a lot at length on the show. Every time a cop stops a shooter, every time a cop stops somebody with a weapon, every time a cop stops somebody with a firearm, that's a good guy stopping somebody with an assault weapon. I'm putting air quotes because Lord only knows what the hell they're talking about. So that doesn't stop the idea of mass shootings, even though this isn't technically classified a mass shooting yet because it has to be 4 or more according to the FBI. But there's a lot of people being shot. We're seeing these taking place now basically every other day. But here's the thing, folks. Mass shootings take place all the time, according to the 4 or more that the FBI use, because you have these inner city gang members shooting each other. But they don't want to, the media doesn't want to cover that. The media doesn't want to go into the inner cities and display what's actually taking place. They only want to utilize what fits their narrative, with people going in the crowds or schools or workplaces and shooting them up there. Well, there's more information on this. It says witness Joe Smith told the Philadelphia Inquirer, once it started, I didn't think it was going to stop. There was a guttural screaming. I just heard screams. Witness Eric Walsh said it was chaos. People were coming off the street with blood splatters on white sneakers and skinned knees and skinned elbows. We literally just were balling up napkins and wetting them and handing them to people. Sounds a lot like what they expect teachers to do when you have a shooter on campus, is take your stapler and tape dispenser and throw it at the person when they're standing in front of you with a rifle or a handgun, because a tape dispenser, some wet napkins, or a stapler is going to do a lot of good against somebody with a firearm. Clearly what works is a good guy with a firearm versus a bad guy with a firearm will hopefully stop the situation. And by the way, I believe it was the Sutherland shooting in Texas where you had an NRA instructor kill the person, and I think the NRA instructor had an AR-15 when he killed the person at that church shooting. So again, there's a lot of instances here. Even statistically, a lot of instances will be shown that a good guy with a gun stops a lot of shootings, even a shooting from even ever happening in the first place. So again, it's all a narrative. It's all a bunch of hocus pocus that the Democrats and the leftist media that want to sit there and massage the shoulders of the Democrats through their reporting want to sit there and spew to everybody. Police recovered 2 guns at the crime, one of which had an extended magazine. Around 11 p.m., there was a shooting a few blocks away where police found 13 bullet casings, according to WCAU. Police are attempting to determine if the 2 shootings are connected. There were no arrests by Sunday morning, and police are still searching for the gunman. As of Saturday, check this out, there were 211 homicides in Philadelphia this year, according to the Philadelphia Police Department. The number of homicides is down 6% from last year, which was the deadliest in history of the city. So, Democrat ran cities. We see this in Chicago, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, all sorts of places are just getting torn up by people breaking the law. Obviously them going out and shooting somebody's breaking the law. Who knows if this person had a registered firearm? I don't know if extended magazines are legal in Philadelphia or not. I would be surprised if they were, because again, it's Democrat ran predominantly. So, who the heck knows? But there you have it, folks. We have a Philadelphia shooting taking place. I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow or during the week with the media's narrative on all of this. I'm sure they're still going to want to ban assault weapons. I'm sure they're going to want to ban some handguns. I'm sure they want to get rid of high capacity magazines. I'm sure they want to move the age from 18 to 21. I'm sure they want to do extended background checks, whatever the hell that means. All sorts of stuff that's been spewed by Joe Biden, The View, Democrats in Congress. It's all going to continue, folks. And quite frankly, I don't think any of those things are going to pass Congress. With that being said, let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Share this link with your friends and family all over social media. And folks, I will see you later here on The Bald Brad Show.